Here we go again, Words Island. A few things, guys, while we're doing the neutral lap here. First of all, I managed to get the second rear camera on the top left, as you guys can see. But since I am not a computer guy at all, down the line it wouldn't sync with the front camera. I don't know what happened there. Really don't understand that. But I rendered the movie that way, and for whatever reason it wouldn't sync down the line, so I'm apologizing. And second thing is, because I'm not a computer guy, it takes me forever to edit those videos, and it takes really a long time. We raced on Tuesday, and it's now Saturday night. I'm still working on that video here, and probably I'm not gonna upload it until like Sunday. So again, apologizing, but yeah, it takes me forever. Anyways, wanted to say one more thing before we are done with the neutral lap here, and I'm in the front, of course, just to make sure that once we're done with it, I'm gonna be in the front as well. Anyways, as you guys probably know, whoever's racing in the New York City area, there might be no Floyd Bennett Field races this year, which is really bummer, because that's like the majority of our races here in New York City, which means there's one more race right now on Words Island on Tuesday, and then we basically have nothing other than the park races, you can say, if Floyd Bennett Field is not going to happen. And for a guy like me, category 4, and I'm not 40 years old, I can't do the Castelli series as well. That leaves me only Lucarelli and Castaldi. That's about it, which is really bummer. Anyway, let's get to the race here. So you know the drill already. Words Island, very short course. We're making a right turn here, and the race is basically on. Now, unlike previous races, there was no sprinting here, but the ribbon guy here on my right, I was chatting with him on the neutral lap. Strong guy, Cat 3, was started surging basically and up the tempo right away. And no attacking, but you can see already in the rear camera how it's basically the whole field is strung out here. It's really hard. There's not a lot of place to basically make way, and also because of the wind direction, again, if you're playing, oh, we almost hit a squirrel there if you saw that. Because of the wind direction, if you are in the right position, you don't have to put a lot of wattage in order to create a little gap, as you guys already know. You saw that? 700 watts just to get back to the front group. That's how it is in this race, guys. So we just finished the first lap, and I want to show you guys how breakaways happen, how easy it could be sometimes. The RCC guy in the front here is trying to attack, putting a little surge here, as you can see, trying to create a breakaway. Didn't work. We all followed wheels pretty well, and he didn't get a gap, right? So we're all following him. So we all got back together here, and the Rafa guy on the left here is still on the front, and you have two E2 value guys up in the front, and look how easy it is. So one of them just put a little surge, taking a Rafa guy with him basically, and his teammate, the other E2 value is basically blocking, and that will be the theme of the day, by the way. So you have a little gap here, but that's the thing when you're racing. You're not really concerning about this little, you know, these little gaps, because you don't think how, you're not sure how serious it will be, and it looks so easy to close. It's right there. So even the guy right now in the front that is not basically putting a hard effort, I can understand. You don't want to burn a match. You know, you never know. You don't want to burn matches for nothing. So if you see little gaps opening, you can either bridge to them and put everything you have, or just take it easy and hopefully it will come back together if you're all gonna work together. So I just noticed a guy attacking on the right here, and I put up a screen just to get onto his wheel, and he's trying to close the gap, or basically bridge. I guess he was hoping for. He saw that everybody behind him, he will be flipping his elbow now. And since I took that race as a good workout, and I told myself I'm going to work hard in this race, I came to the front right away and I told myself we're going to bring them together, and hopefully we're going to have more guys working together. So I put an effort, and Vincent behind me, the Anno guy, came to the front. He put an effort as well. You're going to see him on the left here now coming. Since I took this race as a really, I wanted to empty myself here on this race. I told myself I'm gonna be, when I'm not gonna hold myself back here, and I'm trying to bridge to them. I told myself I'm gonna put a hard effort. Whoever comes with me will come. If I can break the field, even better. But that's the thing, they were all behind me, and I'm looking back and I'm like, okay, who's rotating, who's next? We had the ribbon guy. He was a Cat 3 strong guy, but then again he was just controlling the pace. So looking backwards, I probably played the tactics of just, you know, let him hang up in the front there for like 2-3 seconds in the front. We're gonna catch them, let them burn themselves, and just controlling the pace, which is also a tactic. But looking in hindsight, obviously we should have closed the gap. And now here's the issue that I have. The other E2 value guy in the blue right now in the front is basically blocking. So if you guys don't know what blocking means, you're just coming to the front and it looks like you're pulling. You're putting just enough of an effort to feel like you're pulling, so people will see it on your wheel, but you're not really pulling hard. So you're just disrupting the pace. You are basically giving your teammate, you have a teammate up front, right, with the rougher guy. You're just giving your teammate a chance for to the breakaway to succeed, and you're basically blocking. You're interrupting the pace. Now, it is a tactic. I hear you guys. Yeah, probably it is what it is. Here, the ribbon guy realizing it goes around him and just putting a surge, which is the right thing to do. And by the way, look at my rear camera here. Everything really got strung out there, and that is the right thing to do when you're blocking. But you know what, between me and you guys, it's a Cat 3-4. There are other ways to play that tactics. If it would have been me, I would have just sat on the back of the front group, conserving energy, hoping that my teammate will never get caught, and then maybe attack on the last stretch. Or if they're getting caught, I would basically just counter attack. But when, oh, by the way, I didn't notice here, I actually got a gap here, and I told myself I'm gonna bring them back all by myself. So I'm putting a really hard effort here in this stretch. But at one point, you know, look, they're right there. I closed the gap. I think they had like almost 5-10 seconds gap, and I brought it back all the way to almost 2 or 3 seconds. You'll see them in a bit. But I was looking back, and I had other riders on my wheel, and the E2 value guy also joined us. And looking backwards right now at that, we actually had a gap here, and we should have just, you know, kept on working hard together. Look, the two guys are right there, right in the front, and I didn't know it. I didn't know we have a gap, by the way. I'm obviously already starting to feel it right away from that effort, but I'm still telling myself I gotta close that gap. I gotta be in the front. look how close we got to these two guys, two escapees in the front. And I guess you're already starting to understand what's happening here. This little breakaway was actually the breakaway that succeeded. They were right there dangling in front of us the entire freaking race. And okay, here again, this is what bothered me. The guy going to the front, the teammate, right? And he's basically putting a dummy effort here. And look, the ribbon guy is telling the guy on the red, ignore him. And I was yelling at everybody else, just ignore him, like he's not even existed. Don't look at him, just go around him. You have to basically pull, if you want to work together and bring them and close that gap. Don't count on him, he's just blocking in the front. And I don't know why people fell into it. I don't understand that. So I did realize he's gonna keep on blocking, and I'm keep on telling everybody again, just ignore him, just go around him. And once I saw him going to the front, I was trying to do my share. I went to the front as well, and I'm telling everybody, don't, just go around him, like I'm doing right now. Like, I was just ignoring him, like he's not even existing. He's just blocking. If that's his race, you know, that's what he wants to do, that's his thing, no problem. But look what happens now, how he's disrupting the race. I am putting an effort, hopefully other people on my wheel. But no, he's letting a gap opening on purpose, right? And then attacking everybody else to try to close the gap to my wheel. Now I see it on the back camera there, which is funny. And he got into my wheel. He got to my wheel basically right before the right turn here, and we have a gap. But he's not gonna contribute. Look, he's coming to the back, to the front. He will pull just hard enough for me to not come off his wheel. If I'm about to come off his wheel here, and I'm telling myself, look, we have a gap. Let me bridge to the front escapees here. I want to go around him, and I see that he's pulling, so I'm telling myself, okay, maybe he wants to pull, maybe he wants to bridge to the guys in front. Let me see it on his wheel. We're doing 300 watts, no problem. But look, the water's gonna come down right away. As soon as I'm on his wheel, everybody, look, the 2-3 other guys came back to the race now. That's what it is, it's just blocking. These little pulls that he's putting will not really help in closing the gap. That's what he's doing. He's just controlling the pace. It's almost like a dummy pull. That's what he's doing, and he kept on doing it the entire race. Now look, it is a tactic. I can understand that. But that's one of the reasons I don't basically racing for a team, I'm racing for myself. For him, this race is basically over. I mean, personally, right? He's racing for his teammate right now. He's blocking in the front. He's putting this dummy effort. Here, the ribbon guy is attacking right away. Now, I caught it right away. I knew he would do it because he realized, just like me, that he's just blocking in the front, and I followed his wheel. You know what? That was the move that was supposed to succeed. If I had the ribbon guy here, a really strong, really good guy, strong category 3, probably much stronger than me, and we would have worked together in the front, we would have brought them, and this was a different scenario altogether. But unfortunately, it didn't happen, and the E2 value guy kept on chasing us and just basically ruining the race. That's what it is. So anyways, back to my point, that's one of the reasons I'm not racing for a team, because right now he's playing the teammate tactics of just disrupting the race and blocking in the front. As you can see, he's right there behind me trying to close the gap, and his race is basically over for him personally. He's just gonna come to the front, he's gonna pull hard enough to make him tired, but just enough to make sure nobody else attacking. Here the ribbon guy goes again, and I'm not gonna let it go. Listen, this is a move. If you are attacking and attacking again, sometimes the counter attacks, the second, the third attack, when you really feeling it, and trust me, I felt it at that time, this is when the moves will basically stick most times. And I managed to get to his wheel, but guess what? Guess who's behind us, just closing the gap every time. It was really discouraging. So here we go again, just blocking in the front. I just wanted to show you here the ribbon guy on my right. He's gonna come on my right here. He did the smart thing, so the wind is coming from the left, right? And he's just gonna pass him with a nice little surge here on the right. You see, I had to put 500 watts just to get on his wheel, 600 watts. And what he's doing basically is making sure that he's working as well, because he's gonna have to close the gap as well, and he's putting him in the wind, so to speak. And that was a good thing. And then at that point I started realizing, hey, listen, no more tactics and games, just try, you know what I mean, work hard together. It was mostly me and the ribbon guy on the first half of the race, I think, working. Vincent also was working as well, and now the guy on our back from, let me find out, Triangle Cyclist, was working also. I mean, we all worked pretty good together, I think, especially from the second half of the race. But it felt like mostly it was me and the ribbon guy on my wheel here behind. As you can see, we are basically switching turns in the front. And I'm on my aero position here just to make sure we keep on rolling and getting a good workout out of it. Moving forward a little bit, and we are all working pretty well together for the last few laps. I'm doing my pull, and here's the Triangle guy is doing his share. But then look at that. So once again, the E2 value guy is coming to the front and basically just letting a gap open. Why would you do it? Why would you even come to the rotation? Why would you even get into the rotation if you're blocking? Just stay on our wheel, conserve energy, wait for the right moment, and attack us. Why would you? There's no reason. I was at that point already when he got into the rotation and let gaps open like that, and it didn't make any sense to me. Oh, and here I almost hit it into the ditch here. It didn't make any sense to me. Why would you do it? You're just ruining your own race already. You're not just interrupting us. You just let two guys, look, now they have a gap, so he came to the front and worked, and I told myself, you know what, I'm not getting off his wheel. I'm just gonna sit on his wheel and let him see his race just basically gone. I didn't understand that tactic, and I got so mad at that point that I was yelling at him. Listen, mate, I'm sorry about it, but hey, that's racing, that's how it is, you're getting mad sometimes. I told him, how does it feel to get yourself out of the race? How does it feel? And he probably got mad as well, hearing that. So he told himself, let me show you how strong I am. I'm just going to attack you. And he put everything he had right here. So I'm just following his wheels here. But dude, after this entire race, man, I'm not letting you go. If there's one person I'm not letting go, it's you. I'm gonna follow his wheel now. I'm on a limit here. I didn't even look back. I didn't know we have a gap. But I knew I have to counterattack that, because he was just working as hard as he can. And and he didn't get me off his wheel, and this is the right time to counterattack because he will be really tired. Everybody else are tired, and that was my beat for glory. One of my beats for glory here. Going as hard as I can. Look at the back rear camera here. There's a very big gap opening, and I thought I would be able to sustain it and basically hold it, but I mean, as you can see here, I'm soft pedaling before the turn. I was so tired already from all the, I mean, what you don't see here that I moved forward is us working together for like 10-15 minutes and pulling in the front. So, and me obviously now attacking, so I was pretty much burned here. I'm pushing as hard as I can in an arrow position and just waiting to see if they're gonna catch me. And unfortunately, they did. So he managed to get to my wheel, and as soon as I see that he's on my wheel, I just stopped working right away. I turned left, and doing basically right here 0 watts. It's like, I'm not gonna bring you anywhere. If you're on my wheel, I'm not working. You wanna go to the front and do your dummy pull, no problem. But this attack just didn't go to waste, obviously. If I'm attacking and he has to work just as hard as I am to bring me back, that's a win in my book. I burn a match, but guess what? He also had to burn a match. And it's just disrupting the race right now, but at that point I didn't care anymore. I knew the two breakaway guys in the front are already gone, and we're basically racing for third here. Alright, so we're coming into the last lap here, and the guy is still pulling in the front. He was mostly, for the last couple of laps, it was mostly him. We had a few turns, me, Vincent, and the ribbon guy, but it was mostly him doing a tempo in the front, and I think nobody really wanted to work. And oh yeah, there was the triangle guy actually managed to put a good strong effort and bridge to the 2 guys in front. So there's 3 guys in front right now, and we are racing for 4th place here. So a good practice, I guess, for my signature attack move at the end of the race, and I know I'm gonna have to do it at the last stretch here. So the E2 value guy is still in the front, I'm third wheel, and at that stretch the wind coming again, just to remind you, left to right, it's a headwind, and I'm just basically thinking, when should I do it? And what we'll do here is we're gonna take it to Vincent's camera that sits on my wheel, and we're gonna see my late attack from a different angle. So here I am on the right here, third wheel, and I'm just about to attack. Alright, so I got nipped there on the line by Vincent for 4th place. I got 5th place, and he was reading it correctly. So let's take it again to my camera from my angle. I'm third wheel here, and I'm about to attack from the right because the wind is coming from the left, and almost hitting 1200 watts, which is a hard effort at the end of the race. It wasn't an easy race for me. By the way, ignore the top left camera again, obviously it's not synced. So Vincent on my wheel here, he read the move correctly. He's just saving a little bit of energy, obviously, from my draft, and that made him come to the line just a little fresher than I am, and he's a strong rider, sprinter. So right here I'm still hoping I can maintain my position and get 4th place, but soon enough I realized I'm gonna get bit on the line here by Vincent, so I stopped working here. But you know what? I was still happy. I was happy with 5th place, and especially after a race like that. More than anything, I was happy. I got placed better than the guy that blocked the entire race. I swear to God. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.